We found a phone in the snow, still recording. The world was white and hushed, the kind of cold that makes your breath into little clouds and turns snow into squeaking glass under your boots. There were 4 of us. Mara, laughing into her scarf. Julian, playing explorer. Casey, counting blazes like a responsible adult. And me, there for the quiet, because the week had been loud in the wrong way. We weren't looking for anything. We were looking for not anything. That distinction matters. Casey spotted it, half buried off the trail. A phone, black glass rimmed in snow, a red recording circle throbbing like a heartbeat. Still recording, Mara said. We expected sky footage and a quick detour to the ranger station. But when Casey lifted it, the screen showed us as if someone was standing inches away. Too sharp, too close. You could see the pale scar on Casey's nose, the wet line in Mara's scarf, the ice freckles on my lashes. Julian waved, and on the screen, he waved a breath before he did. Casey tried to stop the recording. On the screen, his thumb beat his thumb to the button. The timer rolled on. The phone was warm, not metaphor warm, steam in mitten warm. Who drops this? Mara asked. Someone who fell, Julian said, staring at the clean, untouched slope off the path. But the wind hadn't stitched over any trail. No marks, no crash. No one had been there since the storm. We agreed to take it to the ranger station. Done, Casey said. But turn it off, Mara said. He couldn't. The frame shifted by itself, gliding a fraction, showing a future where our boots had already scuffed the snow ahead. I stepped back. On screen, I kept walking. Then my heel rolled on nothing, and I stumbled forward into the exact print the other me had left. Cause and effect loosened in my head like a bad tooth. Stop looking at it, I said. Rules help sometimes. Casey held it at his waist, and we stared at trees and told dumb stories to fill the space between flakes. The screen, ignored, kept aiming toward the lake. We turned away. Trail markers we'd remembered from autumn didn't match the ones under our feet. The screen's route did. What does it want? Julian asked. The phone made a tiny sound, and a voice, not ours, and a little like ours, said, to keep going. We tried to quit. On Casey's count, he dropped the phone into the snow. It landed face up, the red circle pulsing. We turned our backs and walked. 30 paces later, we were back at it, the wind having neatly erased our prints, like the page was offended. No, Mara whispered. We ended up laughing. That broken kind of laugh you use when you know you're not in charge. I picked it up. My hands were cold, and it was warm, and comfort is a cheap hook. The trees thinned. The lake appeared, half ice, half black water under a skin. On the screen, we were already there, our voices scraped by wind. No, don't, wait. A groan moved through the ice like a whale dying under glass. The sign we'd seen, knocked crooked in autumn, stood upright on the screen. Caution, thin ice. We turned back, Casey said. We said yes, of course, and kept walking because the screen had already put us on the shore. On screen, I stepped out where the white ice scabbed. In real life, I didn't. The phone hummed in my hands. Throw it in, Julian said, teeth clacking. He grabbed for it. On screen, he grabbed first. The phone slipped from our hands, spun, and skittered to a stop short of the dark hole, like something was holding it back. Oh, come on, he said, and stepped onto the ice before my real hand could catch his sleeve the way my screen hand failed to. He went through up to his chest with a sound like the lake inhaling. We dropped flat, the way you're taught in videos and grabbed him. Belt, sleeve, armpits. He was heavy and slick with water that freezes you mid-breath. Pull, Casey said. Pull now. Under the ice, another hand slid up to meet his. It was not his hand. A face floated there, pale belly white, eyes open and too calm. Its mouth releasing tidy strings of bubbles, like a patient knock. This was not rescue. This was invitation. We almost had him. His belt scraped the edge. My gloves stuck to the ice by their frozen fingertips. Mara screamed without making a sound. Then his sleeve came away empty in her fist, and the water took him smooth. Practiced, like ducking a baby in. I put my face to the ice and listened, because what else was left? The hole burbled, the phone purred. Hold the frame. I tried to smash it. On the screen, the glass shattered into a black spiderweb. In my hands, it simply thudded and kept showing us. A fraction ahead, Casey ash gray with cold, Mara cracking open, me turning toward the trees like the trees were at fault. We stayed until it was no longer possible to stay. We ran for the road, our footprints gone before they were made. In the car, the heat smelled like dust and old pine. When I finally looked down, the phone was in my lap, though I didn't remember picking it up. On screen, our windshield fogged in the same blooming pattern, the red circle calm as a heartbeat. Beneath our breathing, the audio carried the faint click of water making ice. We have to give it to someone, Mara said, voice perched on a high point just above panic. To who? Casey asked. Whoever takes it, she said. We drove to the station with the cracked blue sign and the volunteer wreath. The woman at the desk had tired, careful eyes. We put the phone down like a found baby. It showed us doing that a beat before we did. Her real face was blank. On screen, when she leaned in, she looked delighted. Where did you find it? She asked. In the snow, I said. Still recording. It looks like it's playing, she said, trying on a laugh. Moisture, ghost taps. Don't keep it, Mara said, a plea and a threat. The woman flinched at the tone. We'll log it. Try to find the owner. On screen, she turned away, and the office emptied. The door swung. Pamphlets skittered in a draft. Snow blew in and shined wet on the tiles, ready to freeze. The camera angle tipped toward the parking lot, then the woods. I'm not putting that in a drawer, she said quietly. We'll post it. Someone will claim it. Someone always does, the phone said, light as chaff. None of us admitted we heard it. We went home and turned on every lamp, like light was a defense. Casey called Julian and hung up and called again. The call records meant nothing, and still, they meant everything. When sleep finally took me, I dreamed of a lens set in snow, watching birds, watching clouds, watching boots arrive, already knowing what the mouths above them would say. In the morning, small tracks crossed the road where the plow had piled slush, dogs, people, hungry things that come close when winter is truly winter. I stood there until my toes went numb, hoping the wind didn't like our footprints. On the town page, a post went up. Found near the lake, phone, still recording. If it's yours, please come claim it. The photo was a close-up of that red circle. The glow that drops your stomach when you realize you've been recording the whole time. Comments bloomed. A cryptid joke, a charger joke. Someone's cousin went through once. Better signage, please. Someone else said they'd heard voices under ice, the way you type when you want to scare yourself. The post stayed. The phone did too. Now, when I close my eyes, I half expect to see that frame, the world inside it, always a hair ahead of mine. Sometimes I catch my hand, reaching for the faucet before I know I'm thirsty. Sometimes I hear my voice say a name I wasn't going to say. If you go out when the snow is new and wrong quiet, and you see a black corner peeking through, leave it. If you can't leave it, don't look. If you must look, don't follow. If you cannot help but follow, well, the phone will do the rest. Another storm laid down a clean layer last night. The split in the trail, the bright ribbon somebody tied there. Those trees will whisper like they're saying your name and then not saying it. The lake will hold its breath. The hole will skin over with a delicate, rude film. And somewhere just off the path, nestled in a cradle of drift, a phone will lie warm in the snow, watching. The red circle will pulse. The frame will wait. The world inside it will be a breath ahead of yours. We found a phone in the snow, still recording. Maybe you will too. The way it happens is simple. You're not looking for anything. You're looking for not anything. That is when quiet gets angry and offers you a mirror. Subscribe to the channel for more true horror stories, terrifying encounters, and midnight mysteries. Don't miss what comes next.